Hi, Elaine. I'm going to go through your course site by content area, making some observations and suggestions. These are merely suggestions and you may take them or leave them, but some people find it good extra practice to go back and make some of the changes that I point out. So first of all, great job posting an announcement. You want to create announcements that do three things: welcome and invite and instruct. They should be kind of short and direct participants where to go to find the materials and what you want them to do. And I actually see all of these elements. Your first announcement is probably longer. And then as you get into day two, it may just be a short welcome to day two. You're going to find the assignment and get started, something like that short. Anyway, a couple of things I want to just point out. I want to say that I see all of those elements here. I found that this was, you gave instruction, it was encouraging, it was exciting to, somebody who's here for this help with this particular topic. It's such a narrow topic of focus that the people that come here are already going to have a unique bond because they like and love and feel called to children's ministry. So I felt like this was really good. I wanted to show you that, and I like to make sure you know how to turn the edit mode on and off. If you've never turned it off, you should turn it off and look around because it looks the way the students will see it. This is, I know you've had it on because you've made posts. Okay, so what I wanted to show you was here or anywhere else, if you want to make edits or adjustments to your post that you've already added, you can. You're going to look for this little dial and click on it, and you're going to edit. Now, one thing that I like to do, if I have an announcement or a set of text that is tight like this, I like to help the reader out by making it a size bigger. And I won't save it, but if you go to do that and play with it, you might find that that's a little easier to read. Oh, I see an I. Gosh, that's really hard to see. So I'll give you something to edit. You need an I, a capital I right there. Anyway, this looks really good. I saw your email. Well, I don't know if it will work with email. But you can... I don't know if this is going to be a choice or not. Browse my computer. No. If you wanted to do a website link, you can do it through that little, you can make it live and clickable through this little hyperlink, insert link icon. But I guess I don't really know why it's not making the email address a clickable link. Okay. Anyway, down under the web announcement options, you do have the option to date restrict your announcements. So if you want to write all 5 of them the first day and set them to open each day at a certain time, then you just click on date restricted. What I usually do is I set them to open just after midnight so that I catch all my early birds or they don't catch me without the assignment announcement posted. Announcements go out 8 to 15 minutes after they post live in the course site, and it's kind of an automatic service. It's an automatic thing that happens. It's not something I can turn off or adjust or stop. At this point, we are going to have a Blackboard upgrade in July, and there could be changes to this. I know that that's been one of the issues that's been brought up. So, but just keep in mind that your announcements will go out by email to all of your students that are enrolled. So if you do too much of, there are white, you should see white and red tabs on the left, for instance. If they're reading it in their email, they can't see the tabs, and so that's a little confusing. So a little clause like, once you're logged into the course site, you're going to see these red and white tabs on the left, and then that allows you to still make sense by email. All right, so, and then there is this send an email announcement. you don't have to check it because that's going to happen. But if you if you have something really urgent and I'm not saying it hurts anything to check it, but this is actually what has been the issue. Sometimes coming back and reusing the course later, having that box checked messes up the announcement. So I just recommend leaving it unchecked. Okay, I'm going to click on cancel because I don't really want to make changes in your course site. All right, so course instructor is next. Okay, great, really good here. One thing I've looked at what you wrote, and it's great. It's a perfect combination of your expertise and your what gives you the experience to teach this course, plus enough personal information to to let your students and your learners bond with you over any of these very vulnerable points that you've shared and been willing to disclose. And those things, I mean, they just help immediately to see you as a real person. And you are exposing people to awareness of the medical condition you have that I bet a lot of people haven't heard of. And so I admire you for sharing all of this. So what you wrote was really great. What I want to point out is that what you did was you created a folder. And you think of folders like a manila folder in your desk drawer. And so you might put a little title on the folder, and you might put a little sentence of description of what's in the folder, but you're going to open the folder and put the content inside. So when you create a folder in this particular area, what you do is you have an empty folder. And it's why it looks a little different from mine. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to go back to that. Now I'm inside the folder, and you can see there's nothing there. Probably your students aren't going to get that far. They're probably not going to open the folder and find there's nothing there, but if they did, it's a little confusing. So what I recommend is that you take this great content that you've written, in Blackboard, and if you have it already in a document, that's fine. In Blackboard, it's a little bit better to go ahead and edit the post and capture all of the text in your copy. And I'm going to show you, this is a great way you can extend the screen so you can see all of your text if you click and drag right down here in the corner. So then I recommend you go in here to do your copy, and you can right click and copy here. And so now I have it copied, and then you can cancel, or you can do it from your Word document too if you have it in your Word document. It's hard to explain, but if you copy it from here, it's going to look funny. It's going to add this gray background that you don't want necessarily. Okay, so what you want to do instead of create folder is create contact. You want to create contact, which allows you to put in your name and your email address, which is kind of important. You can put a work phone. You do not have to put a work phone. You do not have to take phone calls. You can do everything by email. We don't have that as a requirement. You don't really have to do anything in location or office hours unless you want to somehow specifically say, every day I will be available by email from 1 to 4. This certain Central Standard Time, Central Daylight Time. Well, I say Central Time. Don't put in the Standard or Daylight, because then you have to change it. All these little tricks. So, okay, under office hours, if you want that, but this is not a requirement. So then you put in your first name, last name, and email address, and then where you copied those great 2 paragraphs that you wrote, you're going to paste those here. Now, the crazy thing about pasting in Blackboard, if you haven't found this, is this tool doesn't want to work. And in some browsers, now it works in some browsers, it doesn't work in my browser. Likewise, the write and paste here does not work in my browser. So what I have to do is click in the box so I have my cursor in it, and then hit Control plus V, and that will paste what I've copied. You need to make the profile available, yes. You can add a picture if you want to of yourself or your chihuahua if you want to, but if you want to, put your face with your name and your information, then if you have a picture of yourself, it can be very casual. What you need to do is offline, you will want to crop it around your face to 150 by 150 pixels so it's the right size. Now, other places in Blackboard allows you to edit and resize your pictures, but here it does not. And so you then have it saved on your computer, you browse, then when you find the picture, no, I didn't know it was going to be this complicated. Let me see if I have one. Okay, this is my friend. Let's say, so if I, oh, it didn't let me see it at all. So you saw that that picture is a 4x6, essentially size. If I posted this, it's going to be all skewed and wonky. But since I haven't put your name in and I don't want to make changes to your course, I'm not going to do that. But if you play with it, you put a picture in and it's wonky, the real and kind of distorted, the reason is you have to have that picture around your face edited to 150 by 150 pixels for it to work right. Okay, I'm going to cancel. If you need more help with that, let me know. Okay, course materials. You want to think of the course materials content area as if it were a table in a physical room where you lay all your handouts. So you have the handouts and you pass them out around the room and everybody takes one. And you have this stack of extras and you lay it on this table that they can go by and get another one. So let's say if they misplaced theirs, they want a second one for someone else. They write on it and then they wish they hadn't, any kind of thing. They can walk to that physical table and they can pick that hand up and take another one. So that's the same concept here under course materials. If you put just your really important documents that you want them to be sure to have, then you still refer to them in the assignments and you can actually even attach them to your assignments. But if you have them here, then it's easier for them to go back and find those documents later. I can't tell you the number of times I've had somebody not able to find a document because it was assigned to an assignment and maybe it was in assignment 2 and they're now on assignment 4 and they can't remember where it was. And so this is a good concept to just put your really important documents in this content area. You've done it great. What I wanted to see, I guess I do notice one thing here. What you've done is fine, don't get me wrong, but what you must have done was build content and create a file. Creating a file is fine, but as you probably found, there's no room for instruction. So more than likely, your students are going to be fine. They're going to know, what they're supposed to do here is click on this and it will open. And the more experienced, the longer we've done this, the more experienced the people are that are coming to the courses. But it's kind of good practice to put a little bit of instruction, at least on the first couple of documents, or at the top of your content area that says click on that link to open that document, open that file is what I'd probably call it. So what I recommend, but I'm not saying you need to change it, what you've done is fine. What I recommend though is creating an item and then you attach the file to the item and it allows you to have places. So I didn't look at the title, but you'd put your title in here. I'll just pick one of mine. And then you'd put your sentence of instruction here. And then you would go down to this area and you would attach the file. So I'm going to browse your course files because you've already loaded it here once. Blackboard's going to be slow and I'm going to get impatient. Okay, so then delivering your sermon. Okay, so when you loaded it once and then maybe you loaded it once in the assignments and once in the course files, course materials section, it added it a second time. There's no harm in that, or maybe you made changes to it. There's no harm in that, but that's why you see two. I'm going to just select this one and submit, and it's going to attach that to my post. Again, you have the option of displaying it later if you don't want everything displayed at one time. Then submit. I am going to submit this time so that you can see what the difference and what this looks like. The newest things you post are always at the bottom. If you want to move them around, let's say this one is delivering your sermon, so I'm going to pull it up here with delivering your sermon. So it just gives me that place. That's the difference. It gives me that place to, well, wait a minute, your icon's the same. Okay, I've said all this and maybe for not, because you probably did do it exactly what I asked you to. Sorry, I've got into all of this and you did. You did it perfectly. Okay, so all I recommend is a sentence that says, click on the title of the file to open it or save it to your computer. I'm sorry, that went a long way into that. I'm just so used to people using that file instead of item. They don't follow instructions as well as you did. So that's all I recommend, is especially with just the first one. And so I'm going to cancel because I'm not going to change yours, but I would just put a little sentence so they know what to do. And so then it will just look like the one I created here. Only your sentence of instruction will appear there. Okay, wasted too much time on that for you. I'm sorry. I'm going to delete the one I created. Oh, hey, one thing before I do that, I wanted to show you, if your drag and drop is not working, then this is another way to rearrange your documents if you want them in a different order. There's the one I moved to the top. I'm going to bring it down to the bottom and submit, and it's going to take that one down to the bottom. Now it's where I want it. So there are two different ways to do it if your browser's not working right. Okay, I'm going to delete that and get rid of it. Okay, all right, great. There is a course evaluation that's embedded in every course. It is there for your use and our use. It is a very generic, standard evaluation, 6 grayscale, like to dislike, agree to disagree questions. And then the last one is tell us what you want to tell us about this course kind of question. It's just open essay. And boy, we get some really great feedback that comes in that essay question off of the evaluation, and then we can use that to put on your course. Well, let me see if this one has one. Oh no, I'm just at the main page. You can see it if you go to some of the courses. There are 3 tabs on some of them. The main material, the instructor, and then what people are saying, I think is the way it's phrased. And so we take that feedback and we put it on your what people are saying tab, so that and then Britt also uses it in future promotions of your course. So it's really important information. If you have other questions you want to add to the evaluation, you just go to this little drop-down box and you want to edit the survey. If you edit the survey, it will allow you to edit the questions or add questions. You don't have to do that. Then but we do ask that you deploy the evaluation on the last day of your course, and you send your participants an email or make an announcement that says, please complete the evaluation. So you do that under Edit the Survey Options. And you go down to make the link available and you click yes. And then if you are ready for them to see it right then, you don't have to do anything else. If you want to set it for the last day of your course, you'll have to go into the display after, and let's say it is next Friday, and then you would set it to open. I always set it to open just after midnight, and then you would submit, and then the survey will be visible at that time on that day. That's there for your use and for ours. Okay, so I'm going to cancel that, and you got it in here. Great. Sorry, I thought I had that confused and didn't realize that you had done what I'd asked you to. Okay, assignments. Okay, great job here. I've looked at this, and I know you've done a lot of work, which is great. And I'm thinking that maybe you have decided on a 5-day course now. I know you've gone back and forth. You can try it the first time as a 5-day course, and then the next time, if that doesn't work, then what you could do the next time, let's say the feedback is, oh, it went enough time, it went too fast, I wasn't able to work on it every day, those kind of things. I don't know if you'll receive that feedback or not, but if you do, then what you can do is come back and you can just change the titles and the planning for the course, and open on Monday and Wednesday, and I guess you could open on Friday. New assignments on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the next week open again on Monday, Wednesday, and stretch it into 2 weeks if you wanted to do it that way, so that you gave them 2 days, so that the assignment would be available on Monday, and that they would submit it on Tuesday, and then assignment 2 would be available on Wednesday, and they would submit it Thursday. So that it gives them 2 days on each assignment, if you decide you want to do that. So, but I can tell you've done a lot of work here, and that you've given them good instruction, that in course materials. To show it as a title, one thing you could do is italicize this or bold it so it stands out a little bit. Sometimes I change course materials to a different color, but that's not necessary. I'm just giving you what feedback I see. Okay, so I also looked far enough to see, besides having the 4 assignments spelled out, you also have played with the assignment submission tool, and that is exciting to me to see that you've done that, because it shows me. Now, before I go too far, I'm going to check. Okay, nope. I see I would mistake that again. You've gone to the discussion forum, which is great. That's totally fine. What I would do, and that worked great, and it's what I asked you to do. What I would do, I would recommend, is that you drag these and put them up with the assignment, and maybe you just hadn't gotten to that yet. Okay, so then you can actually make your first one available, and then your second one, you can set this to not open until Tuesday. Yeah, because I thought that I read in your announcement that that's what you wanted to do, was put it on the discussion board, and that's better. Just earlier when I looked at this, I thought that there's a assessment assignment, and I just thought that maybe that's what you had done. It is a private submission of work. It's not a public, it's not where everyone else can see it, and I knew you wanted everyone else to see it. So what you've done is just right. So I would move these up underneath here. Once you I'm wondering if your thought is that they can record themselves giving this story, and don't forget to add a scripture and a prayer, and if that's your plan, they can video themselves, then that can be posted on the discussion board, no problem. You will have some students that enroll in your class, unless we put it in the course description, there will be some students that enroll in your class and don't have the technical ability to film themselves. I don't know if that was in your mind or not, but so you need to provide a way for both learners and learning styles to still submit this. So if your plan, you can have them submit it in writing, and I'm talking, of course, while I'm trying to read, but you can have them submit it in writing with their scripture and their writing and their prayer, or video themselves. Give them those two options. You're going to want to give them instructions for that, and you can give them instructions here, and that's probably the best place. And if you give them the instructions for day one and say, this is the way you're going to do this, then you don't have to repeat that on 2, 3, and 4. If you have discussions, it looks, oh yeah, you do. I saw that you did. You had something for each day. Okay, so it's just a little reorganization is all I recommend, and a little bit more instruction, thinking of, those couple different scenarios. All right, so now I'm going to check your course link, which I did already check, but I'm going to click over and okay, that's why I remember looking at this now. I saw that you created a forum. That's all I need to see. When you create a forum for them to do these different steps, then be sure and go back here and add the instruction to what form to look for. Go over there, go to the discussion board. This link will take you to the discussion board if you click on it, and I want you to post your assignment and look for the forum assignment 1 Monday, whatever you title it, and so that they can go over there and find that forum and be comfortable. Just a little bit more connecting of the dots. I know you're not there yet, so I'm not at all criticizing that this isn't here. Another thing I will show you though, because it's kind of cool, if you edit this, you can also narrow your discussion down further than the discussion board if you decided you want to browse. You do it under browse. It allows you to, I like to close all those, it allows you to go right into the forum. So I'm going to pick, this isn't right, I know, because you don't have it, but I'm going to pick the Ask Elaine forum, and now it's going to go in there. So I'm going to do that so I can show you what that looks like. So when your forum for assignment 1 Monday is created, then what you can do is have them click right into that forum like this, and it's what it's going to look like. And now they've landed inside the forum. Now the problem with this is the instructions aren't there. So you have to add back one step. You have to, on this right here, you have to say, click on Create Thread to see the instructions. Then they'll be able to, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so Create Thread then gives me the instructions. So you can actually do it either way. Directing them right to the discussion forum is sometimes helpful because they can see that there are many forums, and sometimes that's confusing for people, that there are many different forums and how to go back to them later. That can be confusing to people, how to go back and find them later. But I think it's pretty cool to click over and be right there in the forum as well. So I'm going to cancel that and not post anything, but if I did, it would post right here, and then the next person that came in would create thread and do that. Okay, so I am going to go back and fix that because I don't like to leave any changes. Okay, I noticed on the discussion board that you had created the forum. That's all I needed to see. I also noticed, because I clicked over there just now, that your forum, that you've paid some attention to the different options that you have here, because I noticed that they could subscribe, or maybe maybe subscribe is now a default. That could be. Anyway, if you want to allow them to edit their own posts, if you want to allow them to tag the posts, any of those things, you need to give some time to looking at the forum and thinking through how you want it to function. And making changes to the default is fine. There's no problem with that. I like to allow subscriptions because then you receive that email that says this Elaine has posted to this forum. Click here to see it, and then I can click on it and go straight to it. So as long as I'm logged into Blackboard. So editing your own post, that's kind of a personal preference. I usually don't select that. I just don't want, it's a mixed bag because you're making them share something that people are going to be critiquing. You might want to let them edit their own posts so that if they see a typo or a mistake, they can go back and fix it. I usually don't want people to focus on that or be that intense in thinking about what they've posted. But in this case, with this being the assignment, I could see a reason for letting them do that. Okay, I'm going to click cancel. All right, so there are some other content areas here. If you decide to have live sessions, you do that through these links. If you're going to do that, it didn't look like that was in your plan. You don't have to do that, but if you wanted to, then be sure to make this is hidden from students. Make sure to show it, and you edit it. You open it right here. Show the link so that the students can see it. Two ways I can tell the students can't see it. I have a box here, or if I turned the edit mode to off, I wouldn't be able to see those tabs. So play with that a little bit. Then direct them to it and ask them to go through that information and get their computers ready in advance. That's all I ask. Okay, the access point is the Blackboard Collaborate tool. You can this is just an open room, and you can use this room. You can edit it and change the title of it to Elaine's office if you wanted to, and you can do that change here. If you're changing this, you might want to change these both to 6, just to have the maximum. And the other thing I usually edit is give them full permissions when they log in so that their microphone works, their camera works, that kind of thing. So far, the teleconferencing, it's still kind of new, not working perfectly, but I can help you with that if that's something you ended up feeling like you wanted to do. Okay, I'm going to cancel and not make those changes, but I want you to see that that's there. What I like to do, and what I did last week that you experienced, was I created a session that was on a specific time, a specific day at a specific time, and it appeared down here at the bottom. If you do that, then you're just going to have to give them instructions to ignore this first room. You can even change the title that says, not this one, wrong room, something that, so that they aren't sitting in one room and you've created a session that they're supposed to be in. Again, you don't have to remember all this. I'll be glad to help you with it. Instructor info is just a few videos that I have and documents that I've put in here for instructors. They're not intended for student eyes. They're for instructors, reminding them how to do things. So those are there if you needed to see that. Communication tools is a link to all the things that that they can see and access. There are a lot more, but the less is better. So I try to, my default is to hide a bunch of this stuff because I don't want them to be confused. Let's say, for instance, you're not going to have live sessions, you're not going to have journals or something like that. You can make these decisions for your class. You can hide the link. And again, turn the edit mode to off, and you can see what your students can see. I'm going to return it. That brings me to another point about the tabs. Let's say you wanted to use journals. You can you can add some tabs over here on the left. You can create new content areas, or you can also create a tool link. So let's say I want a journals tool link. I would just select that, maybe type in my journal and make it available if I want them to see it, and submit, and it will add a tab to the left hand. Well, I might as well do it. Oh, I didn't make it available. Show link. Okay, so now it's a link, and you can move it around by drag and drop. And it's fine if you add those tabs. It's fine if you want some different wording on these tabs. I work okay with that. But for some reason, students will get very confused if instructors change the course colors, the colors of the tabs or the colors of the course. So you have access to do that. We ask you not to do that. We like each of the course to have a standardized look, is one reason. The other reason is that I do quite a bit of troubleshooting without looking. So if a student emails me and they are asking me a question, the first thing I may say to them is, do you see the white and red tabs on the left? Well, if an instructor has changed those tabs to orange, then I have an immediate communication gap. And the wording, it's not so much. But if I have the colors will really throw people. So 2 reasons we like for you to leave the colors the way they are. Okay, so I'm going to delete that link I added because you don't need that, but I wanted you to see how to do it. Blackboard gives you a lot of warnings. Now, on the last video, I got impatient and I clicked that too fast and kicked myself out of Blackboard. Okay, so communication tools, I showed you. Websites, I didn't say anything about this content area. The websites, oh, you did do it. Oh, awesome. Oh, looky there, you've added some websites. That's perfect. This is the same concept as the handouts table. If you're mentioning websites, you're giving them websites to go to, you're recommending websites, then later they don't remember where that link was, you're going to be answering emails and giving links. But if you put them here like you have, then they can come here and they can go through them and they can find the link that they want. So I see that what you did was create an item, which is fine, and what you did to add the links is fine. I wouldn't change it. If you want to, the reason mine look different is they're created differently. They're created as a web link, and then that allows me to put in a name and the URL and a little bit of description. But what you've done is perfectly fine. I have no issue with that at all. If you definitely, I would understand that you would probably want yours at the top, so feel free to drag it to the top and put it up there. If there are some of these that you just think, there's too many, I'm fine if you delete them. You can delete BeADisciple, you can delete the Institute, or you can just drag them to the bottom. I kind of recommend, if you have any PDFs at all, I recommend leaving the Adobe Reader, the time zone converter if you're doing any live chats, and the Java if you're planning on doing any live chats, so that there's a place for them to, I can refer them there and they can go there and find that and update their software. But Southwestern College, I'm fine if you drag those to the bottom or move that around. I'm glad to see that you put some websites in there. Participants have FAQs you've found and recommended, and I appreciate that. So you've done a great job. I'm really, really happy with the progress that you've made this week, and I'm happy to continue to iron this out with you and to get the course on the schedule and get it offered. It really is, I think, a good avenue for children's ministry, and it's not happening online yet, and so it's a great time for it. One other thing I'll point out is the control panel. There are some, you have a lot of control in managing your course. Customization is where you would change the colors, and that's what I ask you not to do. But other than that, please, click around here and feel free to take a look at some of this. Users will give you a list of the people in your course and their email addresses. You can also email them through the communication tools or the announcements. The groups, you're not probably going to utilize groups, but that's a whole nother topic. If you wanted to break your larger group into smaller groups, that's something I can help you do for collaboration. Grade Center, you probably won't have any grades. The evaluation, the course evaluation does show in the Grade Center, but it's confusing. So at the end of your course, I have someone who goes in and pulls all your evaluations and sends them to you and sends them to Rit so she can use them on the website. So you don't really have to, but I don't mind if you explore it. Here's a really good tool, though, is under Evaluation and Performance Dashboard. And that shows you the last time your students accessed your course. So you were here yesterday evening. I was here today at this time. And you might have, and so you can tell how long it's been. You might have some students, when you log in here, that it will say never. And that means they have never accessed the course. In such a short course, I would probably check this the first night. But if you were doing a 2-week course, you could probably go to, well, depending on when your assignments are due, you could probably go until the end of day, Tuesday or Wednesday, and check this and see if they have ever logged in. And if they haven't, then it's a real good tool is just to send them a little nudging email that says, oh, I see you haven't logged in yet. If you're having technical issues, please email Lisa so she can help you get into the course. And that is a really approachable way to just say, come on, get busy. And it doesn't seem to upset anybody that you're prodding them along. So that's a technique you're welcome to use. Performance Dashboard is that tool under Evaluation. Okay, I'm going to close that, and your course files, everything you've loaded to the course is found under Files. You have to click on Files and then the title of the course or the number of the course to see all your files that have been loaded into your course. Like I said, when you loaded them one place and then loaded them another place, it caused 2. That's really fine. You can leave it like that, or if you like that cleaned up, you can take the extra ones out. You may go back and find some bright red warnings that this is gone. If you do, you just need to relink it to the other one. You don't have to do that. I know that's a little advanced. Okay, there's a help as well under here. Okay, well, great job. I'm anxious for you to see your review, so I'm going to convert it now, and then I'm just going to say, come back to me after you've looked at this and after you've worked on your course some more, and let me know what I can do to help you. So thanks, Elaine.